Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome back to Coffee Talks. Today I wanted to talk about Nintendo Switch and to see if we have another console here coming around eventually and discuss what my opinions are and everything going forward. If you look at Nintendo's past launch history, we see that the Nintendo Entertainment System came out in 1985, followed by the Super Nintendo in 1991, a span of 6 years, followed by the Nintendo 64 in 1996, which came out 5 years later. 5 years later for the Nintendo GameCube, 5 years later for the Nintendo Wii, 6 years in between the Wii and the Wii U, mainly probably because the Wii was also an unstoppable force, having incredible sales, then followed by the Wii U having abysmal sales, which then was then 5 years in between the Wii U and the Nintendo Switch launching. So where are we right now? Currently, the Nintendo Switch has been out for 5 years, and soon, in March of 2023, it will be 6 years old, and we don't even have a whisper of another console coming out yet. But I still think Nintendo is, in fact, I'm almost 100% confident that Nintendo is in its labs working on things, probably as we speak, and trying to think of the next generation of Nintendo Switch. Why mainly are they probably definitely thinking about things right now? Well, they definitely have a lot of competition up against them too. The Steam Deck, people are already starting to receive and put up plenty of reviews on and really enjoying the Steam Deck out here, and it's definitely probably got Nintendo's eye looking on it. Obviously, it's kind of in a different wheelhouse. In fact, Nintendo Switch was all about trying to be nice, slim, and sleek, where the Steam Deck didn't really care about that, and it's a big, chunky boy, but is also a powerhouse at the same time. But with the Nintendo Switch releasing probably, like that 6 years ago-ish, I'm sure that we're probably not going to see them make a large device that can powerhouse through any game. But I'm sure that they'll still be able to bring a lot of updates to the table, assuming, which I'm sure that we will, be looking at another, hybrid kind of home console here for the Nintendo to release. Now, honestly, I just think that they are going to have to be coming out with something here soon, even though we haven't heard anything about it yet. Honestly, we won't probably be getting it next year at all, and that's mainly because they are still pushing hard with their games releasing here. We've got Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that are coming out here really soon, and then also, Bayonetta's coming, and even all the way down to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, pushing into 5/12 of 23, and plenty of other games along here the lines as well, including one of my favorite games that I'm looking forward to the most, Pikmin 4, releasing in just a blank 2023, which, with a blank statement like that, I assume that we can figure holiday of 2023, and they just don't want to nail anything down yet. But even with that being said, we're probably looking at this releasing late in 2023, which means that we're definitely not going to be expecting a Nintendo Switch here at all this year. But I think that we'll still maybe be hear an update that they're working towards things. That'll mean that we'll be at least into 7 years with the Nintendo Switch, with only seeing a revision of a new OLED screen. And eventually, it's just going to get obsolete. A lot of larger companies making video games will stop. Honestly, they'll just stop making games for the Nintendo Switch because they don't want to dedicate resources to making things for inferior hardware when they'd rather be pushing towards other things like the Steam Deck or, PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox. And so I think that's going to force Nintendo in a position that if they want to keep third-party support, they are going to have to upgrade and give us the next generation of Switch. What are they going to call it? Who knows at this point? I don't think that they'll abandon the Nintendo Switch branding, although I hope that they do a better job of transitioning over instead of like when they did with the Wii and Wii U and had that kind of a catastrophic failure. Now, honestly, one reason why Nintendo doesn't care about upgrading, anytime soon is because the Switch is still absolutely blowing up in sales. 111 million units as of June 30th, which is incredible. It's on a fantastic incline and has beaten the original Wii's hardware sales of 101 million. And honestly, with this momentum and that large install base, I mean, it makes sense to keep the momentum rolling and keep selling games into the hands of people that have the systems. It's always harder to start over with something new, but like I said, eventually at some point you're going to have to. Honestly, I think at the end of this year, we're even going to see it overtake the PlayStation 4 sales, which was 116.99 million units sold as of this year. This will obviously go up here as well. The PlayStation 4 is still being released, but more than likely it won't go up too much. We'll definitely probably cross into that 117 million since it's so close, but how much more is it going to run past that? I don't know, but I still think the Nintendo Switch will overcome the PlayStation's 4 sales here by the end of this physical year once they release numbers here again. And honestly, another reason that Nintendo's probably a little hesitant rolling forward, at least if we are in the trend moving forward into a global recession, which also kind of reflects in their Japanese yen to US dollar here, that has kind of even still been plummeting here in the last couple weeks or the last couple months. Now, I'm not going to analyze this like I pretend like I know what I'm talking about, but I just wanted to at least show this off that it's not the Japanese yen has not been in a great position here going forward. And I'm sure that Nintendo isn't going to want to release a console at the start of a global recession, as that would massively hinder sales too. That might put them in a position where they want to keep the Nintendo Switch around longer and risk losing some support, but to continue pushing out games that they want to push out, just to try to push into a better position in the world to where people would be more willing to spend money that they might not on fun when they need to better resource their funds. So kind of an awkward position. Like I said, I'm sure that they'll get to the point where they're going to have to make a move no matter what, and I think that point is still going to be around the corner here soon. We kind of tailored a couple of the community polls around Nintendo Switch here, asking people, do you think Metroid Prime 4 will release on the Nintendo Switch? Something that they teased way at launch and then has been canceled many times, or rebooted, I should say. 45% people thinking no, it will not release, or it will release on Nintendo's next console, with 25% of people still having faith. This is kind of where I lie. I think they are going to still try to finish it for the Nintendo Switch, but also try to make it as a launch title for Nintendo's next console, just like we saw with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, where it was promised for the Wii U, and so they still made it for the Wii U and rolled it out for the new system as well. Or just a flat-out no, the game will be canceled. Honestly, that opinion still is kind of looking good for me here as well. I don't know. They might just pull the plug completely and just take the massive loss on it. And do you think Nintendo's next console will support 4K? I do think, yes, they will support 4K, although it'll definitely be like a different 4K than, that we see here with the like PlayStation 5 or something like that. But I do think that they'll be able to output. That way you can watch things maybe like, say, YouTube or something like that in 4K, and they'll try to put their graphics out, with a pretty face on it, but it definitely won't be rendering out things with ray tracing and things like that, because I'm sure Nintendo, it'll take a while. They need to have hardware evolve quite a bit so they can keep low-spec hardware in order for them to do that. Another Nintendo Switch question, Mario plus Rabbids had come out, and surprisingly not too many people excited about it, but I can see that, with 4% saying yes, they had pre-ordered it, 3% that will pick it up this week, and 24% going to wait. That's where I'm at, honestly, myself too, because it'll probably go on sale here before too long, and it's just not a game that I'm 100% interested in, although I do support it and I like it. And 69% just flat out no, not interested. Also, speaking of handhelds, I was wondering if Sony handhelds or a new Sony handheld would succeed today. 38% with the yes, the support is there, and no, 62% they're going to stick to home consoles. I'm really torn in between here because I do think that they had great things running, but it just kind of lost the installment base a while back, and it's building back now with the help of the Nintendo Switch. But also at the same time, I think the Steam Deck is kind of filling in the position that Sony would have had if they were still in the console game or in the handheld market game. It's hard to say. I think if they released out now, then it would definitely be a battle between the Steam Deck and PlayStation's next console, while Nintendo still always seems to do their own thing off on their own. And so it's pretty 50-50. I could see them, trying their way in the market, maybe if the Steam Deck didn't exist now. But with it, I don't know. I'm sure that they're pretty hesitant, and I'm sure that they want to keep focusing on their home consoles here as well. And also, here are the top-selling Nintendo Switch games of all time so far here as of 2022. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, with also 23% saying that it's their favorite out of the list. 8% for Animal Crossing, 31% for Super Smash Bros., and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild holding the most with 37%, which makes sense. It's a wonderful game, but I think my vote is still to be on Animal Crossing. So what does everyone think? Does anyone agree or disagree with my opinion? Like I said, I'm sure that we'll be getting a Nintendo console here, probably not in the 6th year. Maybe they'd be able to push it out in the 7th year. Definitely by the 8th year, but God, that seems like a long time for a console to be living around. I think that we have to have something that's got to be in the works, about to be announced here after not too long, and to roll forward. But let me know if I'm crazy, let me know if I'm wrong, or if they're just going to keep pushing the Nintendo Switch, and who knows, maybe they'll keep the Nintendo Switch around and then actually release another home console and then keep both of those running at the same time. I doubt that, but still, anything can happen with Nintendo. You never know. Never let your guard down with them. Anyways, thanks for making it to the end, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and hey, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.